So I've just had a peep out of VR and we've been 1 hour and 30 minutes already. Oh my goodness me, I might have to put this into 2 parts. Unless I can do some heavy editing. But I think by the time we get back it's going to be a good 2.5 hour flight this. But we are covering some serious distance. Back down the southern part of the UK we go. One thing I am really gagging for, and that's a coffee, but unfortunately my better half has gone horse riding, so I'm here on my own, and I've got 4 dogs by my lap, but I don't think any of them are going to be able to make me a coffee. And I can't really leave the Vulcan. I daren't pause the simulation in case I'll come back to a crash sim, so I'm going to have to just carry on regardless. Mind you, that makes it more realistic. You probably wouldn't have a cup of coffee in the real Vulcan. I can't see any cup holders in here, can you? Okay, so we're slowing down nicely here. And as I say, we'll keep inside the cockpit for this particular flypass and wingover, just so you can see how it feels and how it's done in VR. So Sunderland is coming up now. Avitab is such a great plug-in, it really is. We're now at 220 knots. Look at that for a view. Nice and low now. Bit gloomy out there, I've got to say. Clouds a bit overcast here. But that won't cause too much of a problem. Here we go, so here's Sunderland. Speed brake coming out now. I think it's going to get a bit noisy. Dropping down now, nice and low. Hello Sunderland. And full power. Into a wing over. Checking that speed, make sure we're at safety limits, and look at that. Oh yes. And the reason why we need those speed brakes deployed is because the Vulcan is so powerful that even if you're climbing really hard, you're going to overspeed before you know it. So there we go. Next up, the Yorkshire Dales. See here, Yorkshire Dales, and then onwards to the Humber Bridge. And then we're going to go a bit further down and head over Waddington before going round here and then coming into land at Doncaster, which will complete a pretty epic flight. We're going to be well over 2.5 hours by the time we finish. But luckily by the power of editing, you won't have to sit through the entire flight. But I've got to say, being in the Reverb, it's been very comfortable. Oops. Don't want to be doing that, do we? There we go. Enjoy those beautiful cliffs there. We might get a glimpse of Whitby and Scarborough and Flamborough Head. Although, actually, no, I don't think we're going to go inland a little bit in a moment. But look at that, that's gorgeous. Beautiful views. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Skimming the edges of these clouds as we're going to go inland now and over the beautiful Yorkshire countryside. You can see there the ripples in the wing, how it's not perfectly flat. That's the kind of attention to detail I'm talking about. Pure magic. That there looks completely real to me. So we're just checking here on the fuel situation. We're getting a bit low, but we should be okay. I've calculated for enough fuel, providing I'm very careful with those throttle levers. You can get a bit too throttle happy with this aircraft. And that's one thing they had to consider during the real tour. Going such a distance, and particularly doing those fly passes. Everyone wants to hear the Vulcan howl, but that costs a lot of petrol. Petrol? AV gas, rather. Oh wow, that's absolutely beautiful. We're now quite low down again. And slightly off course, but that's okay. Next stop will be the Humber Bridge. Which will be 46 nautical miles away on a bearing of 161. But time to have a look outside again as we enjoy these beautiful views. And actually that over there is the early warning radar system. And it looks exactly like that. It looks like a massive speaker. Because that road goes down to Whitby. That's exactly what it looks like. See what I mean, guys? Once again with those points of interest. Sorry, I just took a screenshot there. Fantastic. Really open the taps. We've got up to about 450 knots. Listen to all that wind. That's XP realistic. Although sometimes it's not that realistic, if I'm honest. It's a little bit overdone. And again, I think the Vulcan is one of those aircraft that you don't really need XP realistic because it's already realistic and sounds amazing. There are certain aircraft that don't need it. Right, slight stutter there, but I tell you what, so far the performance has been absolutely fine. We're now looking out for the Humber Bridge. That is our next target. And just so you know, guys, we've been exactly 2 hours now on this flight. Oh, it's getting a bit rough here. As I say, it's been a very windy day in the UK at the time of this recording. So that's given us a bit of a challenge at times. But nothing we can't handle. Okay, descending all the time here. Overflying Hull. And then onwards to the Humber Bridge. Plenty of boats and ships, as you can see there. Be a bit of a rough day at sea though. Slowing down now as we approach the Humber Bridge. 250 knots. Feels so slow in this aircraft. And once again we'll go outside to enjoy the beautiful backdrop as XH558 glides past. Honestly, that howl, they have absolutely done the Vulcan proud there. Just like, I'd love to know how you produce that sound, because every other model of the Vulcan, including the Iris simulation version, which I did actually really like and flew the wings off that thing in prepared in FSX, but it's captured perfectly, especially the bit where you back off the power and the howl kind of goes up momentarily. Just have captured that little detail perfectly. Well done guys, honestly. If you're watching this, you should be extremely proud of what you've created. Anyway, we're doing very well on this flight, but we've got one more port of call. We're now going to actually go off the planned route and head to Waddington, which is actually really out of the way, but never mind. I can't do a UK tour without including RAF Waddington, which is the former home of XH558, and of course XM607, which was the famous Vulcan that did the Port Stanley mission, is currently residing at the base and is on show as you go past on the A15, which I see every day on the way to work. So I can't not overfly Waddington, it'd just be a crime. But what I'll do guys is to not make this video too long, because it's going to be a long one, this one, I just know it. I will, with the power of editing, fast forward until the approach, so you can see the beautiful view of RAF Waddington, XM607, and of course Lincoln Cathedral and the castle as well. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, welcome back guys. We are just setting up for our approach and slowing down. We're now officially in Lincolnshire, which is really the home of, well, they class it as Bomber County, because it is home to the 607 Squadron, RAF Scampton, the BBMF. So it is the home of the RAF, as they call it. We're just getting lined up here. It's a little bit hazy, but I can just see the Lincoln Cathedral and the castle, two prominent points of interest that really are as big as they look. They are quite a sight actually. And in my Vulcan review video I fly over the Lincoln Cathedral and it just looks absolutely amazing with the just with the colours of the Vulcan as well. It's just the backdrop is just so stunning. But we are lined up now on the ILS. We're not going to land there, but we're going to do a nice low pass over XM607, probably the most famous of all Vulcans. Okay, we're looking out for the runway. I think it's just coming into view now, actually. One thing I love about the HP Reverb, you can see a lot further ahead. I'm looking forward to the new G2 because I think the only thing that hampers this headset is the Miura, which is a sort of slight grain to the display. That's been completely fixed on the new unit, so I'm looking forward to that. And we can do this all over again in the new headset. Okay, so we're coming into view now. Slowing down. Speed brakes coming out. That's the cathedral over there to our right hand side. And we'll get really nice and low now for this particular Flypass, so you can get a glimpse of XM607. Oh wow, we actually went over the wave as well, which is a viewing enclosure, and I was there just today having a bacon butty. So that's the Lincoln Cathedral. You might just be able to see that on the screen there. But now it is time finally to head back to Doncaster. What a magnificent flight. This has been the best flight I've had in X-Plane for absolutely ages. I mean, I love every flight I do in X-Plane really in VR, but this one in particular is very special, simply because I'm flying the Just Flight Vulcan. Oh, I love this thing. Okay, right, so let's see, where are we? Yeah, we'll make a left downwind, I think. Check the ATIS. And hopefully, because we are getting very low on fuel now, I need to be very careful actually. Baby the engine's back home. And there is the Lincoln Cathedral. Looking beautiful and prominent. And that is RAF Scampton. Unfortunately, it's going to be closed soon. The Red Arrows are currently going to move to RAF Waddington. And at the moment there's a petition to save RAF Scampton and at least make it into some sort of heritage centre. But it's looking like it might actually be just churned up into, I don't know, industrial estate or something. Or houses, which is quite frankly an insult to the history really of the RAF. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Let's get back home safe and sound to Doncaster, which should just be up the road from here. The view of the English countryside is such an amazing feeling as you're flying over it in VR. What I thought we could do is, seems very fitting to, on our arrival, do one last wing over. I think we've just got enough fuel. We are very low, but I think we've just got enough to do one last fly pass and wing over before we brake to land. It's just got to be done, guys. I'm sure you agree. So this is Doncaster Airport, which is actually formerly known as RAF Fittingly, but now it's the kind of place you go to head to your holidays. But if you want to see the real Vulcan, the very Vulcan I'm flying today, a hangar is being created especially for the Vulcan, so you can go and see it, and there'll be a sort of a heritage centre there. So I look forward to seeing that at some point in the near future. And I think there are plans for the aircraft to do taxi runs as well, and fast taxi runs. But I don't know, I can't bear to see that personally. I don't. If it's not flying, it's like it's got its wings clipped. I can't bear to see it. I'd rather have the memories that I have of seeing it flying across the UK on the airshow circuit, personally. But it's great to see that they're going to preserve it anyway. Look at that, the ortho is so crisp. Beautiful. Right, time to line up for our last flyby of this epic tour of the northern part of the UK. As I say, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been an absolutely incredible flight. It really has. Crap! We did a roll! We're now in serious trouble. But just to say, the Vulcan could easily do a roll, but unfortunately it was never allowed to. And during its test flight and its first appearance at Farnborough, one of the pilots actually rolled it and got a good telling off. But you know what? I'm pleased he did do that, because it's, I don't know, it's just a famous story now, and it brought the Vulcan into the attention of the public. And I think that's when I think people really started to love the aircraft. Just knowing it could do such a crazy manoeuvre, even though it's as big as an Airbus. Anyway, let's put this aircraft on the ground. Try and make a decent landing here at Doncaster. This is where VR really comes into its own. The fact you can move your head around just like you would in the real aircraft. Now this thing isn't the easiest to land. You have to manage your speed very carefully. Doing a nice wide base leg here. Get her trimmed out nicely on approach. Looking for about 150 knots or so. We're a little fast actually. We'll use a bit of speed brake. Getting on that glide path. Very sensitive on the controls, even at this slow speed. Just managing the throttle now to control my rate of descent. Waiting for that touchdown. Floating a bit here. There we go. Keeping the nose up as much as I can for aerodynamic drag. So guys, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everybody who's watched this video and your support on the channel. It really means a lot. I'm quite blown away with that flight. We have been flying the Just Flight Avro Vulcan in X-Plane 11, and thank you so much for coming along, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye for now.